Welcome to another J Talks Cars. I'm going to be doing something different on this content. I'm going to be attending a modified car meet. As you probably associate modified car meets with boy races and that sort of thing, you would be right in thinking some of these cars is probably along those lines. I have recently joined a modified car club called Modified Nights, I believe it's called, and I've been invited to this car meet in Blackburn. The last time I was involved in the modified car scene, I want to say it was a good 15-16 years ago, which is a very long time. And because I do modify my car, albeit for different purposes to what it once was, I just thought I'd go and check this out, see what it's like, maybe pick up some ideas which I may be able to tie in with my project, and also as well to give a little bit of the insight of the Northwest modified scene. I don't believe it's changed too much. I think people have a different idea of how they want their modified cars nowadays, but you know, different cars, different times, different technology. I mean, I was more into the whole max power and sort of Redline, Fast Car Magazine type modification stuff when I was younger. Now obviously I'm more practicality with regards to my modifications instead of me looking good. I'm too old to be going down the street with my stereo blasting, attracting people, or attracting the wrong attention at least. But I thought I'd go and check this out. It's something different. Like I said, see what cars are out there, see what the younger generations are into, and yeah, again, pick up some ideas, and also maybe kind of talk to maybe a few of them, to see what the costs are or how it works for them. So yeah, it's going to be a very different project. It's going to be a different J Talks Cars, this one. Again, just looking for ideas. It's all part of the hobby, it's all part of the interest, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the car park. let's do a little health update on the car. If you can bear in mind that I did this a few weeks ago, the force of things have been pulling the tape away. So I've got some guide pins which come in, which I'm going to put in there and into there, which will hopefully keep that, and then likewise on the other side. I'm also going to be redoing the grille at some point because the stones and chips have taken away the paintwork, so that's going to get redone. Another problem I've been having lately is underneath the car on this side, on the rear. Every time I hit a bump, there's an absolute god-awful knock. I'm not so sure if it is a bush or it's a suspension part, but at some point the car's going to be going back into the garage. I'm probably going to investigate before then, see if I can locate the problem. But yeah, it's a not pleasant knock. I mean, it's not affected the handling as such, but at the same time it's not what you want to really hear going over bumps and what have you. There was a bit of one at the front here, but I believe it might be a bit of a tie rod at the back of the suspension, so we're going to figure it out as we go along. So at some point I'm going to be sorting this wing out. You can see with the creases and that little bit sticking out, but also as well I've got a little bit of the wing rot going on, or some surface rust, so I'm going to sand it down and treat it and hopefully get on top of it. If you're wondering why this looks the way it is, before I bought the car, previous owner or previous garage tried fixing the paintwork on the cheap and made an absolute pig's ear of it. Luckily it's not overly too noticeable, but the main contention I need to sort out is I need to sort out this dent and this here, and I'm going to need to pull this out as well. On this back door you can see where, I'll be honest, I've attempted to tidy it up and made an absolute pig's ear of it, but some parts it's not too noticeable, some parts it's very obvious. But at some point I'm going to get this rear door repaired and hopefully we can tidy up some more imperfections. So those are the next big jobs for me really, this door and that front wing. But yeah, other than that, she's grand. She's a fantastic car. She looks the job. Gave her a little spruce up the other day, and yeah, all good. So yeah, those are the bits and pieces on the car that need doing. Future project stuff, I'm going to get around to it. Next 3 weeks are going to be very busy for me in terms of my other content and as well as my music, my main job basically. So there's going to be a bit dry on the car content for maybe until the next episode. I'm going to try and get as much sort of car meet content as I can. If not, I'll probably do a few little drive and road trip sort of bits. So I'm going to be driving to Leicester this weekend and then to Doncaster the weekend after, and then the week after that Hull. So I'm doing a lot of travelling in her, so I'm going to provide little bits of updates on how she is and, you know, what the costs have been. So yeah, it's bits of content at the moment with Jay Talks Cars is be a bit thin at the moment because I've got such a lot on. But I have now recently become part of a few other car groups and whatever, and they're helping me with this project, which I'm very grateful. Okay, so I'm out in the car just driving around. This is just a little bit of an update in terms of where things are at with the car. You can hear the knock in the background. This is where I think there's either a bush or something, I think one of the arms or something that's gone. I originally thought it was a spare wheel or something loose, but I've come to realise it's what I mentioned before. I'm absolutely loving the fact that I can go out and about in this car now, and I can just drive it how I want it. I'm not nervous about it stalling because the gearbox or the clutch pack or the flywheel's on its way out. So that's been replaced, that's done. The car drives absolutely superbly. The things that I'm going to do mechanically to the car, I think, in the future is, one, sort that knockout. That I'm not too comfortable with it. It doesn't seem to be affecting the handling at the rear of the car, but at the same time it's still quite an unnerving sound, and as you could imagine, you know, it could be the sign of something coming apart or something coming loose. I don't know until I get it up on a ramp. The other area that I want to upgrade is the brakes on this. Now, the brakes are quite good. It stops as it should, but the pedal feels quite spongy, and I don't mean spongy as in there's no pressure. It feels like when you put your foot on the brake and you're still resting your foot on the brake, your foot is still disappearing into the footwell. I think it's the hydro system that this model used, and I think over time, I think it's a bit tired and it needs a bit of a refresh and an update and stuff like that. So my plan with the brakes is I'm going to upgrade the brakes, still keep them the standard parts, because at the end of the day it's not a performance mod. I want to still keep the car practical or whatever. However, I want to increase the stopping power, and I want to, you know, refresh the braking system. So braided brake lines definitely is a must. It's just a different pressure feel, and as well it feels a bit more solid, I've noticed, with braided hoses. Upgraded discs, so drilled and grooved, basically just because of the ventilation, and also as well with the thermal upon braking. And I'm probably going to look into something like EBC Blue brake pads or sports brake pads, not because I want to go around on the roads in excess of the speed limit, but I just want to be confident that I can stop the car, you know, regardless of the situation. Like I said, the car stops well, it does the job as it's supposed to, but at the same time, you know it can be so much better, and I feel that needs to be done with this. Handling wise, again, it's just so smooth, it's brilliant. I am going to upgrade the front shocks to, I think, Bilstein B6s at £100 a shock absorber. Obviously, because I'm doing this on a budget, it's quite, you know, finances are thin, and I don't really want to spend in excess when there are other things that take priority. But I do want to improve the front shocks, just give a bit more sharper on the nose feel. It is soft, so at higher speeds, trying to take corners, there is a bit of understeer, so I want to try and curb that. I do want to upgrade the bushes as well in the front suspension. The anti-rolls front and rear have been upgraded to poly bushes, fast road poly bushes, so the car is pretty solid. The rear shock absorbers are B6, Bilstein B6s. The car's lowered on Pro Sport 40mm lowering springs, and obviously, as you know, I've gone back to the Audi A8 alloys with the TT centre caps. So yeah, she's been fettled, but she handles well and drives well, you know. And on these country roads just near me, you know, she just really drives really well. She's an absolute dream. Sticks round corners really well. Just rolls round these corners lovely. And as well, got to be careful on these country roads, because obviously we have cyclists and have other people on here, so I can't get too spirited, but at the same time, you know, I mean, you've got to drive within the limits as the law tells us. But yeah, this car is fantastic. It's doing its job, and for a 20-year-old car, it's not cost me the earth to run. I mean, like, I put 30 quid in it, and I wouldn't say I'm on the roads every day, but 30 quid lasts me at least a good 3 to 4 weeks. So, and then obviously if I'm travelling distance, you know, half a tank on a considerable journey is more than enough in this car. So it is superb, it does the job, it's an absolute pleasure to drive, and yeah, I cannot really fault it. I really enjoy driving this car, and yeah. So I think the next content on this car will be something on Helen's car. We've got a problem with the washer pump. There's power going to the pump. We've replaced the pump for a newer one, just in case it might be the motor in the old pump. Still no water coming out, so I reckon there's a blockage in the pipes along there. However, in order to access those, you need to take the roof lining out to get to the rear washer, and to get to the front washers you need to take the plastic covers which are above the brake fluid tank, if you will, as well as the pipes running underneath the front window. So we're gonna have to sort that out. It's not a big job, but it's an inconvenience. The job's still yet to be done on my partner's car. We've got her some 40mm Apex springs, which are not like top of the range, but they are competent enough, because the issue she has is at the back of her car, her rear shock absorber, the pressure, the rebound pressure on it is quite slack, so we're going to replace her rear shock absorbers with Bilstein B4s, just OEM really, try and keep the car as OEM as possible. The problem is trying to get standard springs for her car are cheap enough, but they're not as durable as performance springs. So we've got 40mm performance springs, so we're lowering the car by 40mm. It doesn't need to go any lower than that. And as well, you know, on the Bilstein B4s, it'll be quite solid on the rear. The front will again be upgraded to Bilstein B4s. Obviously, because the spring upgrade, it just balances the car out. She's staying on the standard 15-inch SXI alloys, which we acquired in February. You know, and then obviously she's got the aero strakes for eco and the diffuser. Her fuel economy has improved, but we have also put her back onto E5, because E10, and I don't know if many people are aware of this, but E10 actually damages your engine unless your car is specifically built for that fuel. It's not good on old engines, and the government mandate basically stated that if your car could run on E5 and it was of a certain year, it would most likely run on E10. We tried E10 and she was getting less fuel economy. Her car was burning. The computer couldn't work out what the fuel to air ratio was, so there was a lot of excess fuel, so the car smelled extremely fumey, to the point where it was actually quite difficult, so we put it back on E5. That's solved that issue. The fuel economy's come back, and the drivability of the car's better. The mechanical engine issue we do have though is a little pop when she starts the car. I think there's still this fueling issue. I think there's a little bit more fuel than air going into the combustion. I'm not a mechanic, but from what I understand, that kind of speaks that to me. But yeah, she's happy with the car. The car's just a little shopping trolley. It just gets to and from work, does a few little shopping runs. There's nothing. We're not trying to get performance out of it. We're not trying to turn it into a snarly monster. It's just a little point A, point B, little shopping trolley. It's a classic car, near enough, albeit maybe about 15 years off. You know, it's a 2000 1.4 16 valve. Services on top. The car engine is at nearly 70,000 miles, and yeah, it's a fantastic car, and yeah, she's happy with it. I'm happy she's happy with it, and yeah, can't really say much more. Can't really report much more. Okay, so that's just a little health check on both the cars, and just a little bit of a car meet. I'm just going to be doing bits of going to car meets and little bits of work on my car and my partner's car, keeping you guys updated. Got car fans that have jumped on board with the channel as well now, well, especially with this content, which is fantastic to have. So it's all that's left for me to really think and say is please like, comment, subscribe. Please put your notification on for future J Talks Cars content. I'm always doing bits and pieces to do with my car or my partner's car. Obviously the frequency of it is not going to be as regular as the other content featured on this channel, but you know, I'm enjoying this, and I'm absolutely stoked that, you know, I've got like sites and companies jumping on board, supporting my content, supporting this channel as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to leave it at that for this one, and I will see you in the next one. So please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next J Talks Cars. Ciao bien. Are you looking for a site where you can show off your pride and joy amongst a group of other fellow car enthusiasts? Well, I've discovered recently Car Fans. Now, Car Fans is literally a social media site for car owners and car enthusiasts. On there you can share pictures of your car's specs. You can even go see when the next car meet's going to be, and you can even speak to some of the professionals in the trade that can perhaps help you to improve your car. I've stumbled across this, and I have to say I'm absolutely loving what they're doing. This is something totally unique, and it's something that, in my opinion, the car scene has needed for a while. A lot of the past there's been car forums where you just kind of reply to somebody putting up something in a certain topic list. This is it's where you can just go real time, and you'll speak to people who perhaps know more than you, or perhaps may rely on your knowledge of certain cars, certain mods, certain modifications, engineering, mechanicking, bits and pieces like that. So this is a fantastic site to check out. I would recommend visiting carfans.com. Get yourself registered. It's literally your car social media site that you need to be on. And trust me, this is a fantastic place to be. You're in a world where other people appreciate the same love that you do. It's going to be absolutely superb, and I would highly recommend you do that. Visit carfanstoday.com and join a community of like-minded car enthusiasts sharing their experiences, knowledge and passion of their love for motoring.